Hey guys, what's up? It's Natasha and welcome back to this week's video. Today I am doing my October TBR. Why did I say that's a word? Anyway, before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below if you are taking part in any of the readathons that are happening this month, because it's obviously spooky month and everyone's going full out. So yeah, without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the first 3 books I am planning to read this month is basically, some of them are chunkers and some of them are just very dense. You might know the one from my September TBR, and it is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And this is just about the man who created and the story behind Frankenstein's monster. So I'm halfway, no, that's a lie. I'm 40% into that book right now and I'm really enjoying it. So very dense book. I've mentioned this multiple times in my readathons these past few weeks, so you've heard it multiple times. So the next book I want to read is The Chef by James Patterson and Max something else. I don't remember the name, but basically this follows a guy who has 2 jobs. Firstly, he's a policeman or detective, and secondly, he's a chef at one of the most famous food joints in, I think it's the Chicago area, I'm not sure. He is being investigated because he killed a policeman slash gangster, and he's also on the run from these gangsters who are seeking revenge. That is basically what I can gather about this book. It sounds interesting. It's also a lot of emphasis on his work as a chef at the food joint, because his food truck is called the Killer Chef. So, you know, that just raises questions on its own. If it's a policeman whose second job's name is the Killer Chef, it will raise questions from my side as well. So, you know, sounds interesting. And then the last one that I'm trying to read is Finn by Stephen King. This is basically just about a guy he's very reclusive as far as I can remember. You know, he doesn't talk to anyone up until the point where he walks down the street and someone runs right into him who looks just like him. This is a psychological thriller, so I'm sure I'm going to be freaked out by the end of everything. But yeah, that is all I can remember about this book. And then I signed up for the Wacky Witches readathon that is hosted by Press Perusers over on YouTube. I'll link her stuff down below if you are interested in it as well. It's a week-long readathon, and I have created a very ambitious TBR for this week. So basically, from the 10th to the 16th of October, I will be reading 5 books. Some of them are audiobooks, but I don't think I'm going to get through all of them. So they're just basically going to move over to my monthly TBR as well. The first book is the prompt for Herbs. I think it's Double Herbs, and it's read a book with a green cover, and that is Personal Demon by Kelly Armstrong. And this follows our half demon Hope Adams, and she's just trying to make her way through life as a half demon. I don't remember the whole synopsis of it, but that is basically the premise of it. She's a half demon and she's trying to work through life, because it's very difficult being who you are, apparently. This also forms part of my plan to read Kelly Armstrong before the end of the year, although I think I'm going to have to move it to next year as well, because I'm only on book 7. Book 7 or 8, one of the 2. So we'll see how that goes. The second prompt is to purchase a wand, and that means you have to read a book with magic, and for that I'm going to read A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. The premise of this whole thing, what I can gather, is about this young girl who is a baker with her grandmother or someone, you know, close to her, and she's got this boring life and she wants to know how magic can create baking treats and whatnot, and how would that affect everything, up until the point where her whole town is in danger and she's the only one who can stand up for the town, because this person who is after the town is also after her, so she needs a defensive way in protecting herself. So I'm thinking this is a middle grade. I'm also thinking large gingerbread men running after the bad guy. The third prompt is Cauldron, read a book with a black cover, and for that I'm going to choose Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is, I believe, a young adult story, and this is about a girl who is, you know, I think it's a college, but there's a sorority group and the group is called the Ravens, and our main character really wants to get into this group, but there's secrets involved and there's darkness involved and everything is just chaotic on itself. The fourth prompt is candles. If you want to buy candles, you have to read a book by night, and I'm going to choose whichever book that is. Maybe if I can read the book maybe if it's a book that I am close to finishing but not entirely about to finish, then I can just read it at night, and then tick that prompt off my list as well. The fifth prompt is if you want to buy a batch of crystals, you have to read a book with a beautiful cover. This is obviously an objective view. I was going to go for Mexican Gothic, but I can't seem to find the English version on script. I'm going to go with the Atlas Paradox because I got an arc for it, and this basically just follows up from the Atlas 6, where there are 6 contestants or 6 students trying to contest for the knowledge at the Atlas. Is it the Atlas Library? I think so. And they are all tasked to compete against each other, and in the end of the year that they are there will only be 5 chosen. There's a catch, of course, why there's not a 6th person there, of which I won't spoil because it's a very prominent plot twist in the book. So, and then the 6th prompt in this week's whole readathon is if you want to purchase a witch's hat, you have to read a book with witches, and for that I'm going to choose Emberwood from one of my friends over on Instagram. I know her name is Erin, but I cannot for the life of me pronounce her surname, so I'm so sorry, Erin, but your book looks really good. This is her first book to come out. It came out on the 5th of October if you want to go buy it on Kindle. So what this book basically is about there's magic that was in this world, but it died out. And the only person who has it is our main character, Phoebe Emberwood. But she has to keep it secret because it's kind of like the 1900s where if you are caught being a witch, you are burned at the stake. And so Phoebe practices her magic in the confinement of her own home and nothing, she doesn't want to reveal it to anyone up until the point where disaster strikes her house and she is forced to reveal something that she tried to keep silent for such a long time. And now she's being held captive by the dark forces that were supposed to not exist anymore, and there she meets this dark broody guy that of course is going to be the love interest. Yeah, those are the books that I'm going to be reading this month, and in 1 week's time let's hope I can finish it. Let's just all fingers crossed. Anyway, that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed it or if you made it this far, comment down below if there are any books on my list that interest you, and I'll see you guys in the video next week. Bye.